How we doing? Figured we'd get back into the engine swap series. We're going to be running the Mini tonight. We got the K-swapped option as well as the factory one. We'll start with the factory one again. This car is fully modded. The factory engine was allowing either superchargers or turbochargers. The K-swap would only allow turbos, and we went with the mid-range turbo, which is what I prefer, especially on a four-cylinder. In a small four-cylinder, this car's got 169 horsepower, turbocharged with full mods, so it's a small motor. I increased the transmission ratio to 260 kilometers to try to give it some room. We're here at Brands Hatch, which seemed fitting for this car. This is a 600 performance point suggestion, and we're at like 566, I believe. The K-swap variant was running at 600, so. But I think it had way more horsepower. I don't remember if this. I thought this has a 5-speed in, at least after the upgrade. We'll find out here in a minute. Okay, yeah, 5-speed transmission. The car feels sluggish, which you're doing 170 horsepower versus a lot of the cars that we're used to are, you know, way above this. I also don't typically care for front wheel drive, so a little push there. That's a nice one. I don't know if that's a Porsche or a roof, but I think it's a Porsche. It looks like our little Mini hit the hot lap, which is nice. I did a little bit of the aero work to it. I didn't put a rear wing on it, but we did do the wide body kit. Partially because I wanted to build up the K-swap. That car I played with the livery a little bit, so you have to let me know what you think. The car is, I mean, this doesn't feel like inspired. It handles pretty well, but it's also slow, so. I mean, we're running down some high-end cars with a Mini, which that's impressive in its own right. But Z8 with a big wing, that just doesn't look right. I haven't seen one of those in years. Oh god. Okay, so you have to be a little gentle on the brakes on this car, at least with the current setup. I think stiffening up the suspension would help a lot with that, but if you're turning and get a little heavy on the brakes, it wants to throw that back end out. Which in theory, I guess you could use to your advantage. So for brand patch, this transmission might be stretched a little bit far. At least on this car. I think it's going to be necessary on the Honda. Braking characteristic just kind of made it rotate nicely around that corner though. I don't think we're going to make it around. This is our first loss in the engine swap series. Or is it? I don't even know if it is. The car felt, I don't know. I think this car is getting put on the shelf as soon as we're done here. 153 and a quarter to beat, so not a terrible lap. It felt fine. It's at a point now where, like, why would you run this series? It's not paying well, and it's not for 15 grand, but it's a good looking car. It handled all right. A little twitchy on braking. Let's see what happens with the next variant. It felt like it could use some power, so this one seems necessary. Kind of like the Beetle. The Beetle was sluggish and then becomes a powerhouse, so I'm guessing we'll see something similar there. So let's pop into settings, take a quick look at the power curve. I mean, even the 169 is real peaky there. I mean, you're probably running. See, they don't have the gradation on the scale, so it's hard to say exactly where the power actually is. I mean, what is the torque? I don't even know that the torque is on the same scale as the horsepower, and my camera there is blocking it. So peaky 169. So you're probably running most of the time in the 130 horsepower, 150 range when you're doing all right. And it feels that way. So here is the Honda setup, and I went with the spoon livery. I made it pretty quick, so it wasn't like thoroughly detailed, not one of their true stripes on the sides, but I think it came out pretty well. And it's got the spoon wheels, which I was happy about that. Let's see, that's a little better. So 395 in the torque, and still somewhat peaky in the horsepower, but it's got a lot more area underneath the line, so a lot more in that power area. Let's pop back into the other one real quick just to see what the torque was. Yeah, 119, so not good. And see, I don't think these two numbers are at all equivalent, like the 169 and the 119. Let's take a quick look back at the spoon, the Honda version. Yeah, so that's, I don't think that they're to scale. I think the horsepower is in its own world and the torque is in its own world, which is probably why they're on opposite sides of the numbers. So anyway, let's see what this little girl can do. Even the engine start when selecting a car on the other Mini just sounds lazy. We're going to run out of transmission on this car. Oh, God. And luckily, there's no tire wear because this thing's going to melt tires. I don't know if this thing's even moving. I think it's just burning the tires off. Yeah, I don't know if this thing's actually connecting. You know, I'm watching that RPM spike and the car's not moving forward. I think we're just blowing the tires off. Already 10 seconds a lap faster. And we're already in first, which we didn't get to last time. Yeah, we are not steering. I was not steering there. He leaves all force feedback because we're just melting the tires. I'm wondering if this would be a 200-mile-an-hour car. I mean, in this environment where the car's way ahead of the rivals, it's pretty simple to drive, but I'm not planning the power at all. See, there we were in third at 100. Let's see what we're doing here normally. See, we're doing 100 at fifth here, because we're never getting the car actually planted to the ground. But it's not getting out of hand, even though it's, you know, I mean, thank God this doesn't have tire wear. I don't think you'd get 2 laps out of these things. Oh, car's a little maniac. This thing would be a blast in real life. You'd never be able to floor it. But way faster. It's a fun little car. Try to look at it a little bit here. And these are on the super slicks. I mean, the soft racing tires, so that's all the grip you're going to get. It probably needs a rear wing, and it probably needs a taller gear set. Because the way it is now, I mean, the car just, when you're driving it, you can feel like you floor it, and you could damn near spin the wheel, and the thing just, it's not doing anything. Like, you don't feel it in the wheel. You feel that it's gone. The front end's gone, and it's just going as quick as it can, but it doesn't have any grip. Anyway, yeah, the Mini feels good with the K-swap. It's overpowered a lot, but the factory one feels slow, so it's kind of a nice transition. And I'm sure with some work you can either get it planning the power through the transmission or planning the power through just feathering the throttle, because it's got more than it can handle. But thanks for watching, and have a good night.